Hey beautiful, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hi, my name is Alexisjayda and welcome. Today's notification shout out goes to Jennifer. Thank you so much for all your love and support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I clicked on your profile and you have commented over 400 times on my channel, and I just want to say thank you so much for your support. It seriously means so much to me, and your words are just thank you, thank you. If you guys want to be part of the notification squad, all you have to do is just like the video, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment down below, and your comment can possibly be the next notification shout out. So today we are going to continue on with my nanny series. If you are new, my nanny series is when I used to babysit when I was a nanny. It goes way back. So if you want to start from 1 in the playlist to get caught up to where we are now, you'll kind of understand what's going on, the names, all that jazz. All that good stuff. So I would highly recommend doing that just so that things make sense. But if you just want to jump right in and just see what's going on, then all right, let's do it. So I'm just gonna jump right in, you guys. The vibes are still kind of, it's really hard when I do story times. I don't want to have to take such a long break to kind of like just like gather myself, and I feel bad coming on when I don't have like the best of good vibes. So if you notice that I'm not picking vibes or giving vibes, it's just because I just feel kind of like right now. So I just want to say I love you guys. Let me pick some. Okay, close your eyes. Let me pick. Okay. I don't have any good vibes to give right now, so let me just pick them away. Just let it, just clean slate. And let's begin with the story time. I'm so freaking excited. I'm ready to get back into it. I got a little bit cheese man with my story times. Okay, I'm just gonna go. Get in and go. I want to kind of do like a Valentine's times. I know every time I say Valentine's, you guys are like, it's times. I know, I'm so sorry, but I do want to do a Valentine's look. I saw this at Marshall's for $10.99. Let me know if you guys would like to see a shop with me, because I'll take y'all with me and we will shop. I'll be like, babe, I have to go to Marshall's. Bam bam said. But $10.99, and I think this is going to be so beautiful with the look that I want to create today. It looks pretty in person. It looks pretty in person. Just trust me. Let's just get right back into the story time. Let me know what you guys are doing. If you guys are cooking, cleaning, if you guys are working, if you guys are driving anywhere, let your girl know down below. I would love to know what you guys are doing, what you guys are cooking, what you guys are doing. Let me know. If you guys want to get shouted out on Instagram, all you have to do is just tag me and I'll repost to you on my story. So let's get right into it. With my story times, I think I have to make it clear to the people who I mention, aka my prima. When I do a story time and you see me crying and you see how hurt I am, it is a nacho opportunity to come in and be like, I'm sorry, let's get together. I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. I'm sorry you saw me crying and you're like, oh, let me just get back in her. No, stay over there. I am healing with my fam bam, and that does not give you the opening to be like, okay, this is my time, I'm going to reach out. No, please don't. That goes for anybody else. And you're like, oh, I want to apologize. Go ahead and apologize if you want, but I do not want to rekindle anything. I do not want to have any. I don't. And I know that sounds harsh, and I know that sounds kind of rude. Like, Alexis, why are you saying that? I just don't. And I just don't think that it's like taking a shit and then trying to shove it back up. I don't want it. Okay? I don't know how else to put it. I know it's kind of like, oh my God. But that's like the only way I can like express and make it clear of like, I don't want to backwards. Okay? So yeah. So he picks me up. We don't really talk about what happened because that's how we did some of the things sometimes. We would just act like it didn't happen out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind, out of mind. You know what I mean? Because it was just so hard to communicate my feelings. And he would just sometimes talk in a circle so much where he would lose me. He would lose me, and I would be like, okay. And somehow it was my fault. So I wasn't up for the whole shabam of just taking me through this long conversation. And it wasn't even communicating. It honestly just felt like he was trying to just tire me out of the conversation so I can just be like, okay, I get it. And I just wasn't up for it. I honestly wasn't. So me and him stayed out, and I snuck in his house. At times, his mom would let me sneak in, and then they would kick me out early in the morning before his sister found out, because they're just weird. I don't know. I don't even know if it was like, was it really an issue? Or were you guys just weird and you guys, was it cool? Or did it feel good to kick me out through the window and be like, okay, bye, text you later? I get it was no one's responsibility to offer me a place to sleep. And I know a lot of times I get mad. Like, Alexis, it's just a humane thing. I know it's just a humane thing. But when people are so crappy and there's so much crappy people, it's hard for me to be like, okay, it's just hard. It's just really, really hard to unlearn that, because for the longest, and still there's times where I hear and I'm told, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. That's not how the real world. So it's just really, really hard at times to get out of that mindset of it wasn't their responsibility. You know what I mean? I stayed there at night, and then I get kicked out, and then I would just try to hang out with my mom until she got called away. And Steal the Peaches were kind of checking in here and there with Mr. Peach, but it was still not clear to go back yet. One day, when me and the ex are hanging out, we're hanging out with one of his friends. I mentioned this friend before. I totally forgot what his name is. He's the f***er that knew that I was getting cheated on the whole time, and then karma came and bit him in the culo. That one. If you know, you know. We're hanging out with that friend, and he is just being so short, so rude to me, and kind of just, I'm like literally, like, I'm like the third wheel. It's awkward. He's being super short with me, super annoyed. Anytime I ask him a question, he kind of just like looks at me and just has this face of like, did you really just ask me that? And it's just, I just had to just shut up. I just had to shut up and just sit in the back seat. It was so annoying how I couldn't just be like, you know what? F you, I'm gone, I'm out. Because my stomach would just be like, no, like, you have to stay with him. Like, you have to. He does love you. Because at times he would be so sweet to me, and I'd be like, oh my God, okay, this is worth it. Okay, this is worth it. Of course he's not gonna be all like, you know, lovey-dovey, because he's not a bitch. Because that was what he would tell me. I'm not a bitch. I'm a man. I'm not a bitch. I'm a man. So of course I'm gonna talk like this. Of course I'm gonna act like this. Because, like, there'd be times where he'd be, like, super sweet to me. And I'd be like, oh, why don't you act like this? All the time. And he'd be like, stop, you ruined it. Like, oh, I'm not a bitch. And it would just be so, like, infuriating. And so I would hold on to that. I would literally hold on to that and tell myself, he does love me. He does love me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try to justify someone being a crappy person because you have good times. If there's more bad times than good times, let it go. Let it go. I don't care if he's that your first everything. I don't care if he licked your butthole. You can find other people to lick your butthole. Okay? He's not special. Trust me, he's not. You only have one life. Don't waste it. Don't. So we're hanging out in my 6'4", Jack in the house. So we're hanging out, and he's like, let's go to the mall. So we go to the mall and he's literally like just walking with his homie. And I am like just in the back. Like you wouldn't even know I was hanging out with them because how far he kept walking from me. And he was on his phone like the whole time. And I kept trying to like look over at it. And it was just so hard because his friend would make eye contact with me and kind of just like smirk. Oh, I was so annoyed. Boys are always going to cover for each other. Sometimes. I should say sometimes. Because some are trying to f girl. So it was like really annoying because I kept trying to look and then I was like having anxiety because a friend's looking at me like, I see what you're doing. It was just, and I am getting private calls from Skillet still, and I'm literally like, dude, I want nothing to do with you. So I was getting like annoyed because I couldn't see what he was doing, and I was getting annoyed because his freaking homie was like just eyeing me and would talk to him in Spanish. Now they only thought I knew like this much, but I knew like this much. I would just act stupid like, huh? Or they'd look at me, see if I understood. Okay, that's how a lot of the times I knew what was going on, because I would play stupid. Okay, never show all your cards, never. Okay, you gotta have your poker face on, like, okay, because men will tell on themselves. Not just men, todos, they will tell on themselves. So we go and see a movie, the three of us. He's literally on his phone, just like on his phone. He can't be bothered. His friend even starts telling him in Spanish, like, you're being too obvious. And boom, a punch to the gut. And I'm like, oh my God, he's talking to either Skillet or he's talking to that girl he's always been like wooed by. Is that even the right word? Maria. Okay, Maria is the name that I gave her. But I was so annoyed because it wasn't even like I was mad at him. I was just like, why can't this Maria chick just like let him go? Like, what the So I was trying not to look like a little psycho, even though I was 100% valid in looking like a little psycho, because what are you doing? What are you doing? We're in the freaking theater, okay, sitting down. So it's him in the middle, his friend right here, and then me right here. And he's literally like hunched like this on his friend. And I'm just like looking at him. He like has like the jacket like this so he can still, it was so obvious, but little Lex would always just be like, no, like that's like too like in my face. Girl, he's done so much in your face, like stop. I'm telling y'all, if I can go back in time, and if I cry, it's because I'm angry, okay? It's not because I'm hurt. I am still so freaking angry, and I feel like I just need to have a really, really good cry about how much I was done dirty. And it sucks because then you're like paranoid all the freaking time of like, okay, that was just done in my face, so I gotta make sure that I'm on like this when other things are done. It's just so annoying. Okay, so he is just like super like in his jacket, and I'm just at the point where I'm just like staring at him because it's like, dude, like I will beat your ass in front of your friends. I was like getting like that. I was so angry because Skillet kept calling. It was her because she was right. She kept calling. I was just so annoyed about the whole situation because I'm like, we haven't even talked about that. I gotta make sure that I bring that up later, because if we just zoom past it, then like we'll never bring it up. And then the time I bring it up, he's gonna be like, you waited too long. You can't bring it up now. Like now you're mad. So I was just like, it was fighting. I don't even remember what the hell we watched, because I was just like, you mother, the nerve of you, just sit there with your crusty, dusty butthole and your friend over there, y'all just. So he gets up because he sees I have a little attitude. He's like, I need to go to the restroom. Attitude. Like if he like, oh, bitch, the nerve you had. And I'm just sitting there. Okay, I'm just sitting there. My phone's still buzzing. I could still feel like the bzz, bzz, bzz on my pants. And I'm just wanting to fight so bad. I just wanted someone to complain about him being on his phone other than me, so I could be like, you see, I'm not being dramatic, bitch. We're in a theater. Common courtesy, mother. Like I was just, so I'm like going through and I'm literally like talking to myself, so I look a little crazy. So I'm like, little psycho, okay? And I just feel someone looking at me, and before I could even turn my head, I hear, what the fuck are you doing? Whispering, right? So I just turned slow, like Exorcist, like, oh, bitch, I wish my head would have turned around so I could just be like, don't fuck with me. And I just look at him and I'm like, you're just as dirty. Like I was mad at him. I was mad at the whole world but him. And he's like, what are you? Wow. Like he really tried it, but he was stupid. He didn't have that good of a poker face. He didn't. He was like, what? You look constipated, bitch. You look constipated. You look constipated. Oh, I was so annoyed because he couldn't even like, he wasn't even a good faker, so he gave him away too. You know what I mean? It was like, you're stupid. You're really stupid. For a minute, I'm not gonna even lie, I wanted to hurt the ex and mess with his friend. I did. I'm not gonna lie. Am I proud of it? No. 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 I'm not. I'm not. But I was so mad because I was like, he took my skillet. I'm gonna take your french fry, bitch. I'm gonna take your french fry. Because that's how this dude was built. Like a french fry. But I couldn't because I was just so disgusted. I was just like, it ain't gonna do nothing for me. Like it would do nothing. So I just looking at him and he's just looking at me and he's like, what? And you know what? I'm glad. I am super glad that my cousin John, may you rest in peace, punked his bitch ass. It just made me so freaking mad just how like everyone played me stupid. Everyone literally just looked at me and like, look at this pinche payasa. You are stupid. You are dumb. And it's like, in reality, I wasn't. I was just fucking her. And I really just wanted like a cool little group. I wanted like some cool friends. I just wanted that. And like, y'all are just vile. Y'all are just nasty. You miserable bitches. They want to cry over like, my mom never loved me. My dad never loved me. Mine either. We could have been friends. We could have been like them. But no, y'all wanted to be evil and like spew that out. I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. Like, I was just like, damn. Like, I get it. Right in front of the homie. I get it. But like, why do you have to be a piece of shit towards me too? It was weird. And I just didn't understand. But karma works in mysterious ways. Real good to him. Real good. Just saying. This is pretty. He literally takes forever coming back. Like, I'm not even being dramatic. It was a long time. Where even freaking French fry over here was like, did you say where he was going? And I just looked at him. I was like, probably talk to his girlfriend. And when I said that, I was waiting for him to be like, you're stupid. He was like, of course, like he didn't have to be like, oh, what, you're tripping, blah, 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 blah. But you could have, bitch. But you could have. You didn't have to be that big of a piece of shit. Just saying. So there was times where if my stepdad wasn't home, I would go and see my mom. We're still at the theater, but I'm just giving you guys some, like, this is what I would do, okay? I ask her, like, what are you guys doing? She says nothing. She's super short. Sometimes my mom acts like a teenager and she gives herself away. Whatever, fine. She's super short. She says nothing. And I said, are you home? She says yes. I ask if he's home. She says no. I'm like, okay, great. Kill. Because I'm thinking after we're done with the theater, I'm going to be like, I'm going to go see my mom. Drop me off at my mom's. Because I was literally so pissed off. He has not came back yet. And it's like, dude, you are just too obvious. Okay. I don't wanna know if you're creeping, keep it on the low. He couldn't even fucking do that. So I'm literally sitting there, the movie's half over. French fry over here is looking at me and he's like, I'm gonna go check on him. I was like, I gotta make a phone call. I'll just go do it. He looks like he's about to poop his pants. I get up and I'm making my way downtown. Anyways, I'm making my way to the restroom area. I don't see him at all. I'm like, all right, I don't want to be a liar and say that I'm not making a phone call just in case French fry comes out and is like, you're not even making a phone call, even though I don't gotta explain myself to him. But little Lex felt like, oh my god, you have to do it, because what if he's like, you're a liar? Who cares, Jade? Who cares? But I did, obviously. So I get on the phone, I call my mom, And I try and talk to her. She's kind of trying to rush me off the phone. I'm like asking her like, where are you? And she said that she like went out real quick. Yes, Jade, like, what do you need? You know, she just like always like, what do you want? Like, what, like, why are you calling me? I'm not your mom, you know, type of thing. And I'm like, Mom, I just want to like know, where are you? Like, I wanted to know if I can go over, because my stepdad would like leave. He'd go to the baile without my mom, and it'd be like a whole thing. That's like another story time, whatever, right? So I'm like telling her that like I wanted to like, you know, go and see her. And she's like, okay, when? Like, not even really listening. I hate when my mom gets like this, because sometimes she still gets like this. And I'm like, woman, I'm telling you, like, just, are you listening? Are you listening? She was not listening. So she rushes me off by saying like, yeah. Just tell me when you're close. And I'm like, okay. So I'm going to my mom's after. As I'm still talking to her, and I'm like kind of annoyed because homeboy over here straight cheating, and I have to just like act normal, because God forbid if I confront him and embarrass him in front of his friend. He really had some nerve. He really did. He really did. So anyways, I'm still like this, and I'm still like, okay, well, like, I wasn't even like done talking to her. I look up, he over there just on the phone, just cheesing, straight cheesing. And I'm like trying to hide so like he doesn't see me, just so that I can see how she has him kicking his feet, you know, type of thing. And I'm just watching from a distance, like just straight watching him get all like gushy. I can be your cutty, but show me, You're just throwing lots of throwbacks, Lex. Just watching him. He's having the time of his life, just straight, just smiling. And my dumb ass just watching him, hiding like a cheetah. Well, technically he's the cheetah, but I'm just watching him from a distance. And I still have my phone to my ear, even though my mom already hung up on me. And then I noticed everyone comes out of the theater that I was in. And I was like, damn, the whole movie, this bitch was gone, talking on the phone with Maria. Damn. So his friend comes out, eating the popcorn, catches eyes with me, and goes, is everything okay? I tell him, yeah. And then he goes, well, where's Squidward? Right there. Who he's talking to? I'm like, you know who he's talking to. His mom. And I just look at him, and we just start walking towards him. And as we start walking towards him, he starts to fidget like a little bitch, you know? He don't know what to do. He's like pacing back and forth. He don't know what to do. He don't know how to hang up. Because if he just probably hangs up on her, she's probably going to be like, what the fuck? Why did you do that? He starts fidgeting really weird. He goes into a whole ass theater. And the whole time, I'm just like, damn, Jade, like, why? Like, he's literally doing it in front of your face. He's literally on the floor, and you're still like, is that chocolate chips? Like, it was so bad. It was just so bad. Even French Fry was talking to him in Spanish, and it was like, no manches, güey, te pasas de verga. Which means, no, dude, you overboard. What are you doing? They kind of laugh and have a little moment like, so who was it? Because I have to ask why he looked at me crazy. Like, I asked the stupidest question. What? I was like, what do you mean what? Like, who were you talking? Like, you missed the whole movie. You know what his stupid ass says? I'll give you a minute. Type it in the comments before. I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a second. Okay, you done? I was talking to my mom. I just look at French Fry, and he gives me the whole like this smirk, like I told you, bitch, kind of thing. And I was like, all right. Oh, you're always tripping, man. Like, it's so. This is why you wanted to come to the movies for. Like, this is, we came because like you wanted to watch. Wow. was like, yeah, I wanted to come to the movie so I can hang out with my boyfriend and watch the show. Not sit here and watch it with french fry. Like, he's real stupid. Like, he's just so dumb. He asks me if I'm hungry, that we can go eat something. That maybe that's why I have a little attitude, because I'm hungry. And he thinks that's like the funniest joke ever. He like hits his friend like, it's so hilarious. It's because she's hungry. No, it's because you're stupid, bitch. And me too. And me too. We're both stupid. Because I'm sitting here and I'm like, we just dumb. I tell him, no, I'm not hungry. You think you can take me to my mom's? Your mom's? Because I was sleeping at his house, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I want to go see my mom for a little bit. And do what? So now he's probably like, who's she gonna go see? Who's she gonna, because he starts like just on me, puts away his phone and everything. Oh my God, it's serious. So he puts away his phone and he's like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, why do you care? Like, I don't go see my mom. Like, why do you care? Like, why do you care? So I'm like, now I know like the ball's in my court. So like, I'm playing around with, I'm like, I might even spend the night. So he's like, well, let's go eat first before I go drop you off. I'm like, for what? She can feed me. French fry wants to say, maybe she's going to see her boo, and maybe that's what she don't want to eat because he's going to feed her. So where did we go? We go to Denny's. Go to Denny's because, oh, now Sancho could feed me. And nope, he didn't believe me. Like how quick he got. What? You want to go see your mom? Huh? Stupid. When she called, he was just on his phone. God forbid I grab the phone. That's my phone. What are you doing? I don't grab your phone. Liar. Because when he would grab my phone, why can't I grab your phone? What are you hiding? Why do you act like that? I should be able to grab your phone whenever. You could touch my phone because he already cleared it. So it wasn't even anything. And he wouldn't even find anything. He was just annoying. So we go to Denny's and I'm not even hungry because I'm literally like, what the F was that? He gets mad and he's like, why aren't you eating? His friend is like literally licking the plate because he's the one who wanted to go to Denny's. If anything, he wanted to make sure they went out to eat because of him being hungry. And I just tell him, like, I'm not hungry. Are we almost done? Like, I need to go to my mom's. Like, there's only a certain time I can be there. That's not kind of fishy. But at the same time, it's like, you know why. Don't act brand new, bitch. Don't act like, huh? What? Like, you know that I don't like my stepdad. So, you know, I only have like a certain amount of time to see her from like this time to that time. Do you know what I mean? Like, he knew. So, like, I don't know why he was acting brand new and even stupider than he usually is. So he's eating and he's like, I'm not done yet. He was taking his sweet ass time. And it was so annoying because I really did want to see my mom. I just wanted that comfort from my mom because it was just so much. And I really felt like if we were good, I would have been cool and not need my mom because I would be distracted. And it sucks because I feel like a lot of the times I distracted myself from missing my mama. I love my mom. I really do. We've been through a lot, like a lot. I know she's hurt me a lot. I know she's hurt my siblings a lot. The way my mom would make me feel when she was good, that feeling was so addicting. Like, it's such a motherly, where you're just like, oh, you just feel safe. And I just wanted to feel that. I wanted things to feel like they used to. And it sucks because I'll never have that mom back. Because my mom is just different. But I could still see glimpses of it back then. Not so much now because I feel like so much has happened and I'm older, of course. But, and it's just different, you know? Like when you're younger, you kind of just remember things a certain way. Maybe it was because like it's our child mind. We you know, so you remember it like, oh, you know this, and then in reality, like she was just masking so good and she probably didn't want to do all that. But I just wanted my mom because in a messed up way, I felt like if I went back with my mom and seen her for a little bit, maybe I would forget what he did at the theater and I could just be like, okay, good, you know? And it's so toxic to do that. Please don't do that. When something bad happens, don't go out and try to chase comfort so that you can excuse the bad behavior over here. Don't do that. I would do that so much, like so much, and I barely started catching on to me doing it, like barely, when I would do that, because it just clicks sometimes. So I'm telling y'all, don't do that. Back to the story. He's still munching, eating, and I'm messaging my mom. She's not messaging me back, and I'm getting kind of like annoyed. I hate how I would get so annoyed with her. I was getting annoyed because I wanted her to message me back because I didn't want to show up and then my stepdad be there and it be weird because I don't like him. Like, y'all, like I could not stand to see him make any sort of face expression, like, why are you here? Any sort of face expression, I would get like so enraged because it's like, you bastard, you bastard. Why are you here? Like, why are you still here? Why haven't you left? What are you doing here? Like, he really thought that he really got away. And that's what makes me mad. Technically, he did, right? Because he's not in jail. It really makes me mad. And it made me mad a lot more back then. Because he was just chilling. We were over here chilling with my crew, with my family, after you're the one who did no, and I'm the outsider. Like, how does that make sense, bitch? How am I the outsider and you're just chilling in a cozy house and I have to jump from this place, that place because my mom don't want to leave you? And I get it, my mom was depressed, she was hurting and all that, but it just really makes me mad that, like, he really probably thought, like, you see, what I did probably wasn't as bad. Because everyone's still cool with me, you know? And you know how crazy it makes someone feel that, like, what he did was no. Like, no, it was not okay. Like, in a sick way, I wish that things were recorded. Because it's one thing to see it, and it's one thing to hear about it. But when you see it, I feel like maybe, just maybe, that would be the, like, he definitely can't be around. But when you tell someone, like, what happened, they can either picture it a whole different way from, like, what really happened. You know what I mean? And I feel like maybe that's what people do. Maybe that's what just people do. And maybe if things were recorded, it would be like, okay, now what's your excuse now, huh? At times, like, I think that, like, I'm healed. I really do. And it just sucks. Because it wasn't okay. And then you have people around you that are, like, cool with him. And you're like, damn, was it really not that bad? And then you, like, replay that in your head and you're like, no, that was bad. That was really bad. And I think it kind of just, it feels a lot different too when your kids are around that age, you know? Like, I have constant reminders, and it makes you wonder, like, does your monster have constant reminders, and then you're like, ew, because they probably like that shit, you know? So you feel like when does your justice kick in? And then you're like, you know, and then you're like, am I a horrible person for wanting them to suffer, you know? And it's like, no, you're not. Then you feel bad. And it's just like of emotions, you know? And then it sucks because like there's people that you love that are still like close with him. And then you got people telling you like, cut those people off because they don't care much about you. But then you're like, I care about those people. I'm just gonna cut everyone off. And it's like, well, yeah. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think it was gonna do that. I didn't think it was gonna hit me like that. That is pretty. Thank goodness I do my eyeshadow first, huh? Oh, thank goodness I'm not even on my period, man. This would have been like 10 times more intense. So, let's continue. Chabiao cabrona. Like I was saying. That's pretty. So, I feel like we stay there for like the longest, and I feel like he's trying to make time pass so I can be like, oh, well, now I can't go. But I was going to go regardless because I wanted to see my mama. I missed her. I wanted to see my siblings. And I feel like if I didn't make the effort, my mom would forget that she has me. And probably not, you know. But I feel like it was really easy to probably get caught up in her everyday life with my siblings because I was doing my own thing. Y'all know what I mean, right? Okay. We finally get in the car and he's trying so hard not to look at his phone. Like you can tell he's just like trying not to, like trying so hard not to. I'm in the back seat because French fry likes to ride in passenger like the bitch that he is. I'm in back and I'm just like still texting my mom and I'm like, hey, hello. Hello, family, other side. And I'm like trying to get her to message me back, but she's not. And I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna go over. I'm getting close, blah, 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 blah. I already know how to get in this beach. That's not the issue. Like, she's not there. The issue is I don't want to see that piece of poop. Like, I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, your mom went to the store. Sit right there. I don't want him to talk to me. I don't want him to talk to me. I don't want him to talk to me. Like, I literally wanted to throw hands with this man, but I know he could have killed me just because, like, how he choked me that one time. Like, I know what battle I can win and which one I'm going to lose. I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday. I was born at night, but not last night. You know what I'm saying? It's so cold, you guys. And I don't want the heater on because I don't like how it makes noise. I know you guys don't mind it, but I hate how the noise is. It's 6 degrees right now. 6. It's cold. You know how everyone's doing that cold girl makeup tutorial? I just gotta stand outside and I'm gonna have that done. Oh, I really like how it looks. Pretty. Everything that I'm using, you guys, like all the time, every story time, every single video, everything that I am using will be linked down below. So check it out. Mom is still not replying and I'm getting a little bit annoyed. Squidward is annoyed with me because I'm still like, I'm going. The phone is still like buzzing. I know homegirl's probably like, what's going on? Why haven't you been messaging me? French fry is like, I'll answer it for you. Talks to him, tells him that he's busy, that he had to go do something. He had to go run an errand. And I'm in the back. I have to act like I don't know what they're saying, what's going on. And he is looking at me in the rear view thing. And I'm just sitting there like, just dumb face, you know? Just dumb face. And they're literally having this combo of like, well, what did she say? Yeah, I'm just gonna call her back after I drop her. Like, part of me wanted to be like, never mind, I'm not gonna go, just so that I could interfere on the plans that he had. But I really wanted to see my mama. I really, really did. So we get close to the complex and I just tell him to drop me off. He says that he's gonna wait until I go inside the house, and I'm like, it's fine. French fry wants to make a stupid assumption and be like, it's because her other boyfriend's gonna pick her up. That's why, bro. Like, she thinks that you're stupid. And I just look at him and I'm like, aren't you guys gonna be busy with his girlfriend? And my ex just looks at me. He's like, what are you talking about? Oh my God, I hate how you always say stupid shit. And like tries to make me seem like I'm just crazy. While French fry is laughing, he's like, ella sabe. Ella. Like, she knows. And I literally have to act like I'm stupid. Like, you really think I'm that dumb, you piece of shit? So I'm just literally, I'm like, what did he say? And he's like, he said nothing. Okay. So it's like an apartment complex. Okay, so it has like apartment here, apartment here, apartment here. They're on the very, very low apartment. So there's stairs that you have to go down, right? So I literally go and knock and no one is coming to the door. I'm like freaking out because I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, my mom's not here. I don't see his car, but I see my mom's. But I'm like, okay, like it's not clicking. Like, I don't know like what's going on. I gotta add more coverage. I don't know what's going on. She could have went to the store with him, but I want to see her. She did say that he wasn't there. Like, I'm just like going all over the place, and I just kind of just like crouched down on the stairs so that he thinks that I went in, and I text him in, and he just tells me like, okay, tell me when to pick you up because I'm spending the night at his house. And I'm like, okay, will do. I'll let you know. He says like a bunch of gushy stuff that like doesn't even matter, but I hyperfixated on those gushy stuffs because it was the only nice things that I heard during that time. So I would just literally just hyperfix on it and be like, see, he doesn't love me. He's probably not. He probably is talking to like a friend or something, and I'm making more than what it is. And I was just really trying to justify the stupidity that was going on because I was young and young. I wouldn't say young and dumb, but Lex already has been through it today. Okay. So I keep blowing up my mom. She's not answering, and me and my mom have talked previously, and she told me that where they hit the key. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if it's still gonna be there. It's there. I let myself in and I'm like, okay, like where the hell is she? I go to the room. No one is sleeping. There's like, the house is dead. So I'm like, okay, like, okay. So I just chill in the sala, the living room. I just chill because I'm like, she said she's not with him. She said that only he's gone. So what's going on? You know? She finally calls me. She's kind of like whispering. And I'm like, Mom, where are you? And she's like, Alex, we're at the theater. What? Now, this isn't the only time. I used to hate when my mom would go to the theater with him in particular because it would just like make me so mad. Like, y'all are really doing like family activities. Really? It wasn't my brother's fault that their dad was a piece of shit. But it angered me. How dare you have fun without me? How dare you? How dare you guys act like you don't have a child, Mom? Like, how? Like, what? Like, you said he wasn't, like, what? Like, you knew I was coming. Like, what? Like, what? So I go off at my mom, and I'm, like, screaming at her, and she's like, oh, this is not again. Because, again, I had did this before because there was a time where me and Biscuit were together, and we're at the house, and I was like, Mom, come home. And she was at the movie theater. I was like, you know, come home. And she came home, and I ruined the little, like, the little, like, family night. So it wasn't like the first, it wasn't the last. It definitely wasn't the last. I did it quite a few times. And I ruined the fun for like my siblings and stuff. Well, I ruined the fun for my mom because she had to be the one running around like trying to like find me, and I'd be like, nope, I'm here, nope, I'm there. Like I would really be playing with my mom's emotions and stuff, and just having her drive. I drove her crazy. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you knew I was coming. And she's like, I didn't think you were being serious because you took such a long time. And I'm like, so, which like isn't a good excuse for me, because like that's not cool, and I really was just like being a little shit, you know? But I was texting her during that time too, so I was kind of like confused because I was like, Mom, what are you talking about? And she's like, I didn't want to fight with him, I didn't want to argue with him, you know how he gets. I don't care, like I don't care. And so I start yelling at her, like I don't care. I scream at her, she hangs up on me because she doesn't want to deal with me yelling at her. And then I call her back and I'm literally like fighting with her, and she calls me back and she tells me that she's only going to talk to me, but only if I am talking to her right and I'm not screaming at her. And so I'm like, okay, because I was mad. I was like, how, what? I was like, we were just there. And my mom was like, what? I was like, yes, I was just there. Like, I could have just stayed there and me and you could have went somewhere. And my mom's like, what? Like, we're at the movies. And I was like, okay, so like you could have went with me. And my mom was like, how can you be so selfish? Like, we're at the movies. Like, she was trying to tell me that like my brothers and stuff, and I was like, okay, but what about me? And my mom was like, Jade, quit, like it can't always be about you. And I was like, when is it ever about me? And I'm like screaming. She's asking me, where am I at right now? And I'm like, in the house. And she's like, how did you get in the house? And I'm like, the key. She's like, Alexis, put the key back, don't touch anything like of his and stuff like that. And I was like, I wasn't this time, but what the hell, Mom? So I'm like literally talking to her and trying to argue with her, and she's like, Alexis, I just don't have the time right now. Like, stop. Like, I told him I was gonna come get popcorn. I was like, Mom, who cares? Like, why do you have to report to him? So it was kind of like, I should have, I did know my mom was like in a really bad relationship with him, okay? Like, I did know that. But I guess I just thought she should have been stronger and been like F you to him and stuff like that, stood up to him. And it's so crazy because it's like I was mirroring that behavior and I still couldn't, I don't even want to say understand, because I shouldn't have been able to understand because I was a child. I was a child and it wasn't up to me to understand. I shouldn't have been like, oh yeah, I totally get it, you know? And I was mad. I was mad how she had to tell me not to touch his stuff. I wasn't going to that time, but I was mad that it constantly felt like she was like putting him first. And she was, you know? She was. She didn't want to fight with him. She didn't want to argue with him. And he wanted her to be done with me. He wanted her to wash her hands of me. And my mom would literally like make me feel like, yeah, like he's not crazy for asking for this. Like, look how you're acting. And it was just like, I didn't understand it. And I don't understand it. You know, it would be different if I was just acting like a crazy kid and I just didn't want to listen to rules and I was like, I don't want a stepdad, you know? But it wasn't that. Like, he literally violated me. I wasn't acting out for no reason. I feel like in me responding like that, it was okay because it wasn't anything crazy. Maybe a lot of the things I did were messed up, but I feel like I just wanted her. I wanted to feel cared for. I didn't want to feel like I was a problem and it was okay if I was out of sight, out of mind, and they could like play house and, you know, kumbaya while I was over there. And even though like I would tell my mom at times that like, yeah, like everything's okay, I knew that she knew. I feel like she knew too that like I wasn't okay. Obviously I wasn't okay, but I feel like she didn't want to dig into it or look into it because y'all know I'm not gonna even finish the sentence. So I hang up on my mama and I am just annoyed and starving. So what do? I eat all the snacks that he likes. And I knew my mom was gonna call me later and yell at me. And she told me that the movie, they still had like a certain amount of time. So I probably had like an hour to just kick back and relax and lay on the bed and look at my brother's stuff. take a shower without feeling like I'm being rushed or any of that, or anyone trying to come into the shower with me because, oh, it's just gonna be real quick type of bull. Felt so cool. Just being able just to take a shower with hot water and just chill, eat all his snacks. And I'm telling you, like, all the snacks. I was eating them, having a good old time. And I was cussing out my mom at the same time. I was trying to ruin her fun at the theater. I did want her to be annoyed and come and check on me. I did want to ruin it. I did. I was like, oh, you think you're going to be at the movies and have a good time? Even though he was an ass, and it wasn't like he was nice to her or anything. He was a dick. He was a dick. He was the biggest piece of shit ever. He was such an asshole. I thought, oh yeah, you should be an asshole too. And maybe, just maybe, she'll be like, oh my God, okay, Lex, you win. And we could live together again. I hate thinking that I stopped living with my mama at such a young age, because when I did live with her for like 2 months, when I got pregnant with Andrew, I moved back in with her for a little bit before her and my ex fought, and then she kicked him out, and then I had to follow him. We couldn't live together. Like, it was so weird. Like, she was trying to discipline me, and it was too late. Like, it was too late in the sense of there was no respect there. She wanted to get high and have people in and out of the house and do really dumb stuff, and I just couldn't respect it. I was just like, I don't want this. And it like trips me out. Like, it really, really trips me out when I think about, like, oh my God, I could, like, how was she so okay? How? And I try to find reason, like, oh, it's because I was a difficult child, but like, for what reason? You know why I was difficult. I know my time's coming up to having to leave the house, and it makes me so mad at the time too. And I'm just like, oh, why do I have to leave? Like, why can't he leave? So I started texting my mom, like, I don't want to leave. Like, why can't he leave? Why can't you tell him, like, you have to get out? She starts texting me, like, what are you talking about? Like, you sound crazy. I don't have money for the apartment. That's not how it works. And I'm like, okay, well, why can't you get a job? And she was telling me that she's been trying, that it's just hard, that, like, what don't I understand? And I'm just, like, so angry at her, because I was like, snap out of it. Like, obviously there is some form of, like, you can function if you're out and about with him. And I was just mad. Instead of calling the ex, I just walk to the library, and my mom is like, did you leave the key? Did you leave the key? I was so annoyed. And I told her, yeah, I did. She asks me, like, what all did I do? I told her I took a shower and I ate. And she's like, what did you eat? And I'm like, I ate his snacks. And she's like, why do you do that? Like, you know what you do. You purposely. And I was like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. And I remember being like, oh, she was like, there's so many other snacks. Like, why do you purposely want me to fight with him? Like, why do you do that? Like, why are you like that? Like, there's other snacks you could have ate. And I was like, yeah, but I didn't like those. I liked the ones that he liked. And she's upset. I stopped messaging her back. I go to the library, kick back at the library for like a very long time. And the ex is like messaging me, like, what time am I going to pick you up? And I tell him not until like a little bit later that I'm at the library with my siblings. Like, they didn't like him, like, at all. Like, they didn't like his vibe, especially when they were younger. They didn't like him. Manuel, my baby brother, would constantly try to kick him in the balls, like, all the time. I don't know why. It was just like a reflex. He just went for it every single time. The ex would be like crying and shit, and it would just be like, oh my God. And I really had to tell my little brother, like, stop making him cry. Stop. And it was just a mess. He just says, okay, just to let him know that he's gonna be in this one place. And I'm like, why are you there? And he's like, I'm with my mom. I knew why he was in that city. I wasn't dumb. I guess I was. because I was still there. So I'm just chilling, going on MySpace, you know, coding my cool little background, having a grand old time. Isn't it crazy? Now I take my babies to the library to do like their projects and stuff. It's such a like a weird, crazy feeling. It's like full circle moment. It's weird. Eventually my mom calls me and she is like furious. And I would hate when she would get this mad because it's like, where's that energy? Huh? Where's that energy for him? And then my mom would hate when I would talk crazy like this because she didn't know how to control me because I sounded like a little psycho. If anything, I just sounded like her. I was just mimicking her behavior when she would talk all gangsta, like how I like to call it. And she would get so mad. She would tell me like, just shut the F up, and that she's gonna go get me and she doesn't care and she's gonna make sure that I just stay in the room and I don't have to interact with him and I'll hardly ever see him. And I'm like, no, stop threatening me about that. No, I was really hateful. I said like a lot of hateful things. I don't know if he like really bitched her out this time or something. I don't know what it was or what. Like he was probably mad because I ate all his snacks. Big woof. Big woof. What a crybaby. And I'm like literally telling her the same thing. Like, you're mad because I ate his snacks. Like, you're mad. Like, I don't give a. And my mom hates when I swear at her. And I hate when I swear at my mom. I really do. Like, who does that, you know? Like, why are you swearing at your mom? That sounds so gross. I hated it. Because it made me feel yucca. It made me feel gross. Like, who does that, you know? So, we're yelling. She's telling me that I am wrong. And that if I keep pushing it, and if I keep talking, that she's going to go get me. And I was like, you don't know where I'm at. Like, I just kept at it. And just to be a little I was like, oh, guess who I seen the other day? Because I know she can't stand my prima. Like, she can't. She hates her. And so I tell her, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing hanging out with her? I can't hang out with my mom. Like, I was just being so manipulative and so mean to her. Like, and my mom gets even more mad. And it kind of backfires on me because now my mom's threatening me that now for sure I am going to move back in with her. And then I have to like backpedal and be like, no, Mom, no, I don't want to. And she's like yelling at me that yes, that I am going to stay and I'm going to, like, that's it. No ifs, no buts, no nada. I was pissed off. So my mom ends up pulling up at the library and I'm fuming because I don't want to see her in this circumstance where like it feels like in a way she had like the upper hand because she's my mom and you know all that. So she picks me up from the library and me and her are literally fighting, like fighting. She's driving home and I'm like telling her like I don't want to live there. I'm like, okay, I'll live there if he leaves. How is that gonna happen? Like, you don't just get to do whatever the F you want. You're the child, I am the mom. She's swearing. And I tell her, it only feels like you care that I hung out with putafis because you probably thought I told her that I'm not living at home. I'm like, I didn't tell her anything. And that's what I felt like. I felt like my mom was more like, oh my God, they're gonna think this, and cared what others think instead of being like, I'm gonna be there for Jade. This is pretty. I didn't think it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like a darker pink like this, but this pink works out fine. I tell her that and she's like, nope, you're just playing games. And I was like, no, it feels like that's why. You probably thought I told that stupid bitch that you're here and I'm over there. I didn't tell her any of that. My mom kind of gets quiet and she starts to break down that she doesn't know what to do, that she's pretty much damned if she does and damned if she doesn't, that she doesn't like me being out and about, and it'd be different if I was just like in one place. And I was just like, I was just mad because I felt for my mom because I felt like she probably feels, at times I felt bad because I felt like it was just so easy for her just to like pick me, but it was so hard for her because she still had my other siblings and was probably like, they need their dad, I need my daughter. And it is what it is. So I'm like telling her like I don't want to live with him. I'm like, I don't understand how you don't understand that I don't want to be in the house with him. And she's like yelling at me that I'm not going to be in the same room. I'm not going to even have to see him. And I'm telling her like, no, like I don't want to. Like if you make me go in there myself, I'm going to do it to myself, you know? And she's like, don't threaten me with that. And that's, I literally did not want to be in the same house as him. So my mom would break down when I would tell her, and I would tell her like, it was really messed up me telling her like my sangre would be on her. And that was really, I shouldn't have put that on my mama. So I tell her that, and she's like telling me that like, what am I going to do? Then what am I going to do? I'm telling her that the ex is going to give me a ride. He's going to give me back a ride to the Peaches. And I'm like, just tell my mom and stuff like, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. As me and her are arguing, he is like blowing up her phone because he probably needs to eat or he needs his ass wiped. And I'm like, you see, like, just go. Like, I just, like, it's fine. And she's like, no, it's not, because then you're going to throw it in my face. And it was just like, again, the whole damned if you do and damned if you don't. And I'm just like, I just don't want to go. Like, I don't want to live with you guys. I don't want to live with you guys. And even like he was out of the picture, even when he was out of the picture, I couldn't live with my mom because it was more like maid type of thing. And it's like, I know we have responsibilities as children, like chores and stuff like that, you know, that sort of thing. But I just felt like it was just like all on me. It was just weird. So like we just constantly bumped heads, and the more I go into like the story times and stuff, you'll see like it was just, we just couldn't, it wasn't there. I know once upon a time, like we did live together, of course, like she was my mom. I remember, you know, elementary and all that, and a little bit of the junior high, but it was just so weird. It was like living with a stranger. Even when I went to go visit her and stuff, like it was good, but like we had our moments of like, we're just so polar opposite. Like it's crazy. I love my mom, but we are just like completely different. She does things her way. We trigger each other a lot, and my mom does a lot of things that she doesn't see that are like not okay, and then we fight about it, and then I'm like, oh, she's like, I didn't see it that way. And it's just, even at like a young age, I knew like I just didn't want to do that with my mom. I didn't want to sit there and constantly go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was just really toxic. She's fighting with him. She tells me to wait in the car, that she's gonna go talk to him. She's all frustrated because she had to go do something. And so the time that she leaves me in the car to go inside the house, I'm gone. I'm gone. And I just tell her like, he came and picked me up, Mom. Like, I'm not gonna go back and forth. Like, I love you. We'll talk later. And that was that. She just was like, K. Just K. Because it was just a battle she was not going to win. Picks me up down the street, and he's such an ass. He is like grilling me about what did I do? It doesn't make sense. Like, why we went to the library. And I'm like, why not? And I'm like trying to like make up lies too, because it sounds weird, like, oh, you went to the library by yourself. Like a lot of people would be like, what? That's weird. But it wasn't weird for me. It was like the only time I could really just like be in my thoughts and like feel like things were somewhat normal, even if they weren't, and everything was just going crazy. And I feel like we were kind of like, do we argue? Do we argue about the movies? Do we argue about Skillet? It was like very weird. And I feel like in a way we had a very toxic bond, because we got together so young. We went through so much young that I honestly felt like we were just comfortable with each other. It was just weird. It was just weird. He asks me if I just like want to go back and just like go to sleep, or if I wanted to go out and do anything. And we went to like a little like kickback, but it was so awkward because I literally was on the couch the whole time while he was just like on his phone chilling with his friends. And I remember like in moments like that, I was like, why can't I be like those girls that are like in the center and they're like dancing and they're just like feeling, you know what I mean? And they were just like so sweet to me too, like those girls, and they'd be like, oh, like come dance, come on. I'm like, ooh, she got, and I'm not trying to like toot my own heart. I know how to dance. I know how to like do it all. Oh. But I just felt so weird. Like my confidence was just like out the door as soon as I would like walk into like those rooms or those kickbacks or those parties. It was just so awkward, and it was so much going on, and it just felt like, okay, so like when do we start fixing it? When do we start fixing it? It just felt like we were constantly turning the pages and like nothing was being written, you know? And it like drove me crazy. We were at that party for like a very long time, to the point like I knock out on the couch. Like I knock out. I didn't feel like if I was like unsafe or anything. It was like a lot of kids. They were doing some stupid stuff. I didn't know the whole thing with like the Vicks and like I didn't know about that, and I got offered it, and I was like, it's okay, I'm not stuffy. And everyone started laughing. It was just, when I reminisce and I think about like so many things that I was like offered or asked, and it was like, I was so innocent in the way I responded. Like I didn't know, and thank God I didn't know. Thank God. I swear it was like my guardian angels, or my mom watching all those Lifetime movies with me and like putting fear into me. Like I'm glad, because imagine if she didn't. Imagine if she didn't put those fears into me, and I feel like it would have been so much different. Like even though my mom did a lot wrong, I feel like she did a lot right in helping mold me into like how I was, and why I was very like, no, don't do that, or this, that, you know, because there were so many nasty people around. And it wasn't even because like it was older men, like even kids. It was just, we were so unprotected. Fell asleep on the couch, and then I'm woken up by him telling me like, okay, like let's go. And he's just being like so sweet, so nice. And that's where like the love bombing came in, because he would be so cold and like withhold me from it, and then be really, really sweet and nice, and like compliment me, and oh, like I just love how like you were just like on the couch, and like you were just like doing your own thing, and all those girls were like doing this and doing that. And I was like, yeah, like like it was so. We go back to his house, and my dumbass climbs through the window. We go to sleep. We're sleeping on his freaking couch bed. And that night, I was just like, something has to be done. Like something has to be done. I either have to reach out to the beaches and like tell them like, hey, what's going on? I need to like put my pride to the side and go home with my mom. I need to do one or the other. I need to talk to the beaches and like tell them like, hey, what's going on? Are you guys firing me? Are you guys just ignoring me? Or like what? I hate that I can still remember the layout of that bed, that bedroom. I hate that I can still remember how everything was. I'll flash a picture, not at the exact moment, but this was the time I was pregnant with Andrew. And if you just see, just sadness. It's just sadness. I hate looking at those pictures. I remember just looking at that picture and just like the layout. I don't know why. It's like embedded in my brain. Have you guys ever had those moments where like you feel like your brain's going and then I know where it just like, it just rests. It's kind of like when you're playing with that Connect sound. You're playing with it and you let it go and it's just like chilled out. That's how I felt in those nights. So weird. So what's next? What's next? It didn't feel like time was moving. It just felt like, time was moving, but it didn't feel like anything was like being written. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna leave it there, you guys. I love you guys so much. Besos a todos. And I hope you guys liked the look. I feel like it's so freaking pretty. Like, look at that. All right, guys, make sure you guys subscribe if you guys enjoy story times. Thumbs up. It really does help me out. I really appreciate it. Besos a todos. And I'll see you guys in my next story time. Bye.